Hi, good evening. It's time for Hold No Bars. Yes, I'm 10 minutes late, so I'll cut down my talking, but good evening to all of you, and my apologies to all who've been waiting. Tonight, a couple of things. I've had a great laugh tonight. It's my best week in political life because I've had the heartiest laugh at the naivety of the Alliance for Change. Um, Yesterday, I think it was great news for my great friend, Kamraj Ramjatan, who has been able to secure the running mate spot for David Arthur Granger in the upcoming March the 2nd, 2020 polls. David Arthur Granger. But it was a great comedy this week between the AFC and the APNU, the People's National Congress Reform APNU, the major partner in the APNU, and their president, David Arthur Granger, inked a deal with our good friend Kamraj Ramjatan and the Alliance for Change. And as they signed off on that deal yesterday at the office of the president, or at the Ministry of the Presidency, we saw various pictures of smiling Kamraj and David Patterson and Valdo Lawrence, and what a great deal. Kamraj says, stronger together. He's using the hold no bar sign, stronger than ever, or stronger together. I say weaker together. Weaker together, why? In my view, that Kamraj and the AFC are weaker with the APNU, and APNU is even weaker with them. Because everyone knows, as David Granger officials have said early in the week, they have no power, they have no say. So Kamraj has been happy. He has secured a prime ministerial nominee, not the prime ministerial position, just the nomination alongside David Granger. So that's been secured. And the AFC has dropped from 7 or 6 seats to 5 seats in terms of what will be allocated should they come out, I don't want to say victorious, should they come out with a results that shows the coalition retaining the retaining power, I should say, on March 2nd. So what was the laugh? Hear what David Granger said. David Arthur Granger has said that at the beginning of the week, he is not going to be handcuffed with deadlines and threats. I am going to be shackled by the Constitution. I will have to abide by the Constitution of Guyana. Well, this is the same man who has, for almost 10 months, now 11, refused to abide not only by the Constitution of Guyana, but by 2 court ruling in favor of the Constitution. So David Arthur Granger is going to be abiding by the Constitution. So that was a laugh till my belly busts. The next thing now, David Arthur Granger says that he wants honest and competent government. He's going to abide by the Constitution, and he's going to have honest and competent government. Well, the honesty part is more laugh. I had no more belly for boss, but there was more laugh. And then the competent part I'll come to. Now, the people are seeing one of the most incompetent ministries that we have had is the Ministry of Public Security. The Ministry of Public Security has been the most incompetent one. So Granger says he wants honest and incompetent government. We will examine the honest part of his statement, But let's start with the and the competent part and the incompetency. I remember David Granger says also initially that he's only going to be guided by the Constitution as president. So there was joy and jubilation this weekend, as Freddie Kissoon wrote, at the House of Change, the Alliance for Change headquarters in Sandy Babs, Railway Embankment, between David Street and Sandy Babs Street. So, David Arthur Granger says he wants competent government. The first man he is going to fire and he is going to appoint is not going to be, if he comes out having a declaration. Remember, I ain't saying this in favor of him. The first man he would not appoint is Kemraj. Why? Kemraj would be seen as the most incompetent minister in this coalition, followed by Raphael Trotman. And I'll deal with Raphael afterwards, right? So this competent government that Granger said he wants to lead post March the 2nd, the first person he has to get rid of is Kemraj Ramjatan, but Kemraj is rejoicing because he is the Prime Minister nominee. There is no guarantee that Kemraj Ramjatan will even be selected as the Prime Minister. But they have an agreement. After much torture for the AFC and much embarrassment for the Alliance for Change and the APNU. And here is the major part of the incompetence, is that we have not been able to fight crime. So the acting crime chief must be, for me, the most squarest of pegs in the roundest of holes. This acting crime chief. I don't know who Leslie James, Commissioner James, and again, I say congratulations. I said it earlier, congratulations to Leslie. He has attained a master's degree at the University of Guyana, and congratulations to all the 1,985 graduates of the University of Guyana. But our Commissioner of Police has just secured a master's degree. I beg Leslie, you're a young man with quite a few years to go. Please, don't study no more. We need you to concentrate on studying how to fight crime, not the academic qualifications which you are acquiring. Why? Crime fighting in our country is the number one issue to address, and you're the Commissioner of Police. You can't say that you went studying for a PhD and left the crime fighting, right? So congratulations on the master, but good advice, sound advice from me to you. Stop the studying and start studying how to fight crime. So here what the leadership of the Ghana Police Force has been told to do. They've been told to release statistics which says that if we can hold a bit on the telephone calls, give me about 5 more minutes. I'll start the calls at 5 minutes to 11, right? They released statistics recently that shows up to October 31st, serious crime has been down by negative 2.2%. And all over the place, Leg 1, Wakanam, Hog Island, Parika, Salem, wherever it is, they're waving this. Crime has been down by negative minus, well, I shouldn't say negative minus, but negative 2.2%. In any statistical review, most times the marginal error is plus or minus 5%. So if you put the plus 5% onto the negative 2.2%, literally you're going to come up with a positive 2.75%. Remember the margin of error we're dealing with, right? Crime has increased by. So there is nothing to shout about in terms of crime. So I did some of my own statistics and I postulated that if we look at really the serious crime, if you take out break in enter, which has about 600 so far for the year, you actually have a 10% increase in serious crime. And they got all kinds of category: robbery, robbery with aggravation, robbery with violence, robbery with a firearm, robbery with with an instrument other than a firearm. Now all these things are serious robberies. They're serious crimes. Whatever category. And the moment they put out the statistics last week, you had 2 murders showing up. A headless body show up in Latem, and another guy got stabbed, a Venezuelan got stabbed in Grove. And the category break and enter, they don't even report that anymore. Victims don't report it, right? Let's take Yarra Cabra. I was on Yarra Cabra and the Suicide Linden Highway this Sunday. No, I didn't go to races. And the biggest problem on that stretch and in Suicide is breaking and enter. So the tire man, who has a beautiful house at the back of the tire shop, he says, Mr. Nadir, in fact I should say he and his wife says, we can't live in this house. We have to come and sleep in the tire shop and take turns, because the moment we turn me back from this place is thief man breaking and enter. So look, I like to go to races. This is the 2nd year in a row I'm missing races because I am afraid to leave my place unguarded. I go into North Yarra Cabra. When I say north, I'm taking the highway, dividing Yarra Cabra in 2, and on this side of the highway. Beautiful little road going in, right? And I went to the back where the sand road starts appearing. And I had about 50 persons. You know, number one thing, I said, Mr. Nadir, look, the issue here is the break in and enter. And we are afraid to even open the eye when they break in, because we don't know if they're going to stab we and kill we. We play silent and we play dead like if nothing happened. So this was a big joke. I know the acting crime chief ain't got the commissioner of police qualification. He ain't got a master's degree. I don't think he got a diploma, or he doesn't even have a first degree. Now you may say, what does Manzoor know about crime and talking about crime? What qualification he got? But if yours truly don't know, I do have a 3rd year full course in criminology. I studied the administration of justice. I studied juvenile delinquency, right? All these in my undergraduate program. And I've been literally in Parliament on most of the committees dealing with crime fighting and also dealing with public security issues. Along with that, since I was like about 11 years old, I read my brother's papers and Haita Raymond, Faisal would know this, on a detective course. Long ago, before we see all these online things, you used to have correspondence detective courses. My brother was a very ardent student of detective work. So, yes, I do have some amount of exposure, might not be skill. So the crime was a big issue, and President Granger saying he wants competent government. So you got to knock off 2 people. You got to knock off Kemraj, and you got to knock off Raphael. Raphael's biggest claim to fame now is that one of his relations is involved in one of the biggest corruption stories, that oil exhibition that's going on right now at the Marriott Hotel. Somehow, a close associate of Raphael is involved very serious. That's how the company came together, and they're making millions of Ghana. I'm talking about not 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 and 50. Millions of dollars out in this exhibition. right? So it's almost like money that has been extorted out. So that's one, and then Mr. Granger saying that he wants honest, and he wants competent government. And Kemraj has literally been now handed. And Kemraj is rejoicing. And at the back of that, all the hallelujahs that have been said and praise heaped upon the skills of Kemraj in securing this position is the fact that Granger will hold, like the sword of Damocles, over his head the Constitution of Guyana, which says, I have the power to appoint who to whatever in this country. And there's a basic rule of thumb in law: you cannot make agreements or contracts outside of the law. So pranam, good luck, whatever we want to say to Kemraj and the EFC. It's your last one song. You've had it. Good luck to you. We wait to see what will happen to you, because certainly David Arthur Granger would not get a chance to implement what he has said he will do for you and not with you. So let's open the lines now. We have the lines have been buzzing all evening. Let's go. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Nadir.
Gotcha. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Comrade, I wish if you can place some more emphasis on the CARICOM and the PPP. Comrade, since we in government for 22 years, CARICOM always give us the hot end of the rod to hold. And to this minute, this blatant illegal government, they hasn't said a word, and they are dissing our best constitution that we have right now. There has no respect for it. They are using it at their own discretion. Mr. Granger is not president for me because he's illegal. So he is the one who I'm very, very disappointed with. He's a former brigadier who takes the oath of office to represent our country through the Constitution, and he's not doing that. And we are asking them to come or resign the cabinet. We want the cabinet to go, and if they are not going, we will hit the streets very hard. Protest, peaceful protest all the time. Comacheli told us, peaceful protest move mountain, and that's what we have to do. No more words, we have to hit the street. Because they are not hearing my words, we are going a peaceful protest, Comrade Nadir. You have a nice night.
Thank you very much. I just want to say to all the viewers, yes, I haven't given up in what I have said with respect to CARICOM. CARICOM, our relationship with CARICOM must change. Dr. Irfan Ali, our relationship with CARICOM must change. CARICOM has a unanimity rule, and that unanimity rule says every one of the heads of government, and now we have 15, including Haiti and Suriname, has to agree. And all of a sudden we have the former Surinamese ambassador to Guyana, Manorma Suknanand, is Deputy Secretary General of CARICOM, right? And all 15 heads of government have to agree for any position to be taken. Now, that might be great, but this is the second time around that Guyana is crying for CARICOM to stand up, not for Guyana, but for the principles of democracy. And I've said publicly, we're launching a program called Guy Exit CARICOM. Hashtag Guy Exit CARICOM. Guyana exits CARICOM. We're not going to disassociate ourselves from Caribbean countries. I am calling for us to, yes, maintain relationships. Suriname has provided refuge for 40,000 Guyanese families. Antigua, Guyanese make up now the deciding portion of who will be prime minister or not. St. Lucia has been another bastion standing up for refugee Guyanese. I remember being in St. Lucia when the St. Lucia Labour Party under Julian Hunt says that the first thing we have to do when we change the government, and that was a 1987 campaign, and I'm telling you from first-hand experience, he says, Julian Hunt, he says, we have to get rid of all of the Guyanese who are selling on the pavement in front of JQ Charles and on the boulevard. Now, the boulevard is the center of the city. If you want to call Avenue of the Republic the center of the city, in Castries, they call it the boulevard. And then you would say JQ Charles is the largest department store. And like Fogarty's, you'd have a lot of people, and it was Guyanese, gold jewelry, handicraft, leather products. And so the St. Lucia party had threatened the first thing they'll do is send them all the Guyanese, right? John Compton stand up and says, we must stand with the Guyanese, right? So people like Eugenia Charles, yes, but you'd have some sympathizers and some undemocratic persons like the late Morris Bishop, and they would hold back, and those who would be close friends of the PNC. So that has to change. And Guyana, in my view, our foreign policy has to be, we don't want to be in CARICOM anymore. Not because we have oil, but because CARICOM has failed this country not once, twice. And they say, if you fool me once, shame on you. If you fool me twice, shame on me. So I agree with that first call. I know taking up some of your time, your valuable talk time, but this has to be, and I've already received so many positive comments with respect to that. I said, but we're not going to give up on countries in CARICOM. We'll do bilaterals, one-on-one. One-on-one. We have to set aside some of our oil money to help some of the CARICOM countries who helped us. We can't forget that. We can't forget that. But to maintain CARICOM, we pay for the headquarter expenses here in Guyana. That CARICOM secretariat is not the countries of CARICOM that came together. We did. Your taxpayer. And we did that without oil money, and when things were difficult. The CARICOM annex that we had to lease for $50,000 a month, is we paying for it. We have a headquarters host agreement. So we pay for that. And then the Secretary General, Dr. LaRoque, will tell me, oh, you know that we spend $4 million in Guyana every single year or every month, and that goes into your economy? Well, listen, sir, Dr. LaRoque, Troy Resources, they shut down, and they used to spend $5 million supporting this local economy directly. They just shut down. So, if LaRoque, you could make a statement because a few persons get killed in Texas, and you got a whole nation, the fourth largest nation in the CARICOM bloc, and you can make a statement about abiding by the Constitution, we can't be a CARICOM. I want to agree with the first caller, and sorry for taking up your time. Lines open again. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Hi, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
Good night.
Good evening. A little bit angry because of that CARICOM thing.
I know you're angry. I know you're good when you're passionate and angry.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let me give you a
definition.
Let me give you a little gauge on the crime story.
Yes.
5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
when you heard someone using a gun to commit a crime,
Mm-hmm.
small arms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a major robbery.
Yes.
Now, you rob of a cell phone a $5,000 with a small arm.
Yes.
You understand? So that is bar in which these police them should use
Mm-hmm.
to understand the seriousness of how crime has become in this country.
Mm-hmm.
People are not going to report the small crime no more.
Mm-hmm.
they give up to the police force. They have no confidence in the police. That's the first worst part. There's an exhibition that got going on
Yeah.
with the oil companies.
Yeah.
Who is the recipient of those registration fees?
Okay, it's going to go in a pool, and technically it's the government again. And they say, remember, they used to fight this down with all the money that go in the consolidated fund and come back out?
Right.
Right.
All right.
But I want to believe it's going into the bank account of Valiant. I said I want to believe. And then they will deduct their fees, their management fees and their expenses.
Okay.
And if there is anything remaining, remit the rest to go invest.
But listen to me, I'm just speculating here, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're right. You know, it have these tea parties outside in which you go and buy a plate of food. Like when they got fundraising, right? You buy a plate of food, 1,000 US, 5,000 US, or so, right? Could it be possible that these oil companies are really funding the PNC campaign legally by doing an exhibition like that and donating funds? And that's speculate, right? And one more point ago. The election next year. Let's say election next year, the PPP win with a landslide victory at the polling station. And in GCOM now, Mr. Lowenfield has another result.
Well, that's the biggest fear.
And the Madam Chairman, her signature is at the bottom. How is it you are going to deal with a situation like that?
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot. I'm going to cut off your responsibility.
Good, thanks. Okay, first let me ask Kevin. I just forwarded a video to Kevin. I want Kevin to cue up that video. Kevin, if you're listening to me, cue up that video because it's a beautiful response to an attempted robbery in broad daylight by an ordinary citizen, right? So Kevin queued it up. And this is in Lamaha Gardens, supposedly a residential area where this happens literally 2-3 times a day unreported, right? So the last part is, this is the biggest fear. Lowenfield produces results and it has to go to the commission. Now the commission would not have all 28,000 statements deposed before them to do their own adding up. They're going to have to be dependent on the summation done by Lowenfield. When that's done and they did the quick summaries, the Madam Chairman will sign it off. Once that's signed off, then we have to go 2 routes. If it's wrong, you got to go to court, which will be 5 years after and another rigging. Or you got to go to the streets, which has happened in Bolivia, right? Now that would be the sad thing. If David Arthur Granger allows this country to go down the Bolivian route, the only people that will be laughing is all those persons with the oil blocks out there. And the Guyanese will be suffering. Good? And you see it happening in Bolivia. Bolivia is an oil-rich country, a peasant-poor economy that got oil, right? And this peasant-poor economy that has oil has had a very good son of the soil who took over, was doing great. But the first thing, this man who promised to be humble, right, Morales, the first thing he did was build a big palace and buy a jet, 25-story high palace with a heliport, right? So that's going to be the option that I call it. Is protest, and that will descend into Guyanese against Guyanese with the oil companies laughing. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello, Mr. Nadir.
Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Could you please lower the TV a little bit?
Lower television. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, sir, I would like to ask you
Tell me.
one question.
Sure.
Is that why is it that this illegal government that we have in power right now don't have the audacity, they don't have the, that to resign, to walk out, and
Right.
leave the Guyanese people free and fair. I am annoyed of this. And people call in and they say, oh, the president of Ghana. I would like them to set the illegal president of Ghana, illegal Prime Minister Nagabutu, illegal, what my name, Ramjatan, and Harmon and Jordan and all them, illegal. Acknowledge them as illegal. Illegal. They're supposed to step out. They're supposed to do the right things for the Chinese people.
Yeah.
They're no more in power. No more. And this thing is annoying me. You understand, sir? I'm telling you, I like your program. I like the way you talk. I could admire you 24/7.
Thank you, sir. My wife might get vexed, though.
No, I could say admire you.
I know. I'm just having a little fun tonight.
Yeah, I love you. I love the way you produce your program. But I'm talking about President Granger. He's not no president anymore. He's an illegal president.
Okay, pal. Well, I'm going to cut you off now because you're about to repeat, right? Thanks a lot. Let's give somebody else a chance to come
Thank you
through.
very much.
You're welcome. Right. Okay, Kevin, you want to cue up that video for me there? Now, this is an ordinary person response to an attempted robbery. This is Lamaha Gardens, and this was shared among the people of Lamaha Gardens, and it's gone viral since. And this is an ordinary worker, looks like a domestic going to work. And these things are not reported, but this is the fear in which. So here is this bandit here, and I'm saying bandit, I have no, right? Cyclist, and comes around, we have this gang who goes around the Lamaha Gardens area, and now he turns back, and clearly she has seen him, right? She has seen him, so she starts darting towards this compound here. She sees him, she walks up, he spins around, she takes out her umbrella and her money, throws the bag into the yard, and he rides away. Oh, how smart thinking. Right? That will never ever get reported. Never ever get reported, right? So that is one of the things. He didn't get a chance to get close to her. Clearly he was after her bag, and she threw it in the yard. Good? Now, yes, sorry, those who've been calling in on 681-9312, I was forwarding that video to Kevin to put up. So the lines are open again, right? 681-9312. You can call me on that, and there on the top right-hand corner of your screen, you have 501-0617. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Sir, good night.
Good
I'm
evening.
I'm calling because I'm a worker there too.
In Lamaha Gardens.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So that is every day. Every day that is what's going on. Every day. And there's people them around the area that you work with. They're saying that they reported to the police. But according to what I know, I don't think report going every day. But every day that's happening. And most is all those ladies working in domestic work, and many are single parents.
Yeah, let me tell you, I am confident it's reported because I used to live in Lamaha Gardens. I lived in Lamaha Gardens from 1992 to 2004, right?
Yes, sir.
So I know a lot of the residents there, and they do report it. They're very concerned, and they're all civic minded. The issue is, if you know that this is a hot spot, crime chief, you can set up some operations there to catch these guys, man. Come on.
Yes, they have to do something for that.
Exactly. It's not hard.
Yeah, they have to do
It's
something
not hard
for
to
that.
do it. And you gotta set the people up, but instead, we gotta spend 15% of the resources of the police force to protect David Arthur Granger because he's afraid of the people. He's afraid of hooligans like me. You see? I wouldn't stop wearing this T-shirt on our program till after that big hooligan gone. right? Because it takes a hooligan to know a hooligan. Thanks a lot for calling to conform. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good. Hi, good evening. Sorry I cut you off. Great. Okay, so that video, it's confirmation that that video is not fake news. It's actually the real thing. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I find about protesting, right?
Aha.
Protesting sound good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So, as I was saying one night,
Mm-hmm.
and a black guy nearly beat me up,
Mm-hmm.
put me down on my knee,
Okay.
just by the new police station.
Mm-hmm.
And the police was just there and couldn't do me nothing. What my statement was, that we Indian people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Indian, I'm not talking because I'm a racist. But we cannot protest like when the Negro people really want to protest, because when they protest, they get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that they get people backing them, or they feel that they have enough power that people look in the back and nobody can do them nothing.
Well, whether you're Indian or whatever you are, we gotta stop being intimidated by bullies like David Arthur Granger.
That's my point. That's what
And a couple of us will die. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. But it's
I
going to
wanna
be the
say-
betterment for the nation.
I want to say to Mr. Jagdeo
Yeah.
and Mr. Fanali,
Mm-hmm.
that hope that this election coming, if people win this election, that they have enough power
Mm-hmm.
to protect people that support them. That's my point.
You have to have enough power to protect all citizens to guarantee them safety and security. It's not only your own
Exactly.
supporters.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that
Great.
when
But
they
don't
say-
be intimidated. Stand up and talk. You might get two cough, black eye, and blue nose. But that's the only time when the police can come in and charge the man for assault and battery. And here what will happen? He'll go to court and he'll plead guilty and get a $10,000 fine. But you're gonna have to suffer a bit more like that. Look what's happened in Bolivia. Morales did the same thing. Then after 2 months, he ended up on a plane. He's now in exile in Mexico. Maduro in Venezuela has been doing that for a little while. Now, the university students, his own people now, marching on him. Right? We gotta stop this, whether it's Indian or black or Amerindian or Portuguese or Chinese or Europeans, and we gotta stand up for what's right. And when you stand up and speak up, it's not only for yourself, it's for an entire country, not only your own tribe. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, but-
Good. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Okay, here's another one coming through. I thought people don't like use cell phone, but apparently it's easier to pick up your cell phone rather than go to the landline. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Manzoor.
Good
See
evening.
the crime what you see on video there just now?
Uh-huh.
David Danger doesn't want them to be caught. David Danger, he doesn't need them to be caught because he have this country in a miserable condition.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a thief. When the thief for survive, he is happy about it. David Danger is happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he won't send nobody to go after them because he don't provide jobs for nobody in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Only price, plantain and cocoa price and everything where he don't
Okay,
know about.
thanks a lot. Point made. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Sorry. Good. So let's keep it short. I know I started late, and we have about 11 minutes remaining on the program. Let's keep it short. There's been powerful messages so far coming from all of you callers, and but let's keep it short. But let us keep it clean, right? And I know all of us are very passionate. Here is what is said on the WhatsApp. They buy drones for 150 million that cost 50 million. So I think this person knows something, right? $150 million for drones for the army. Now I don't know if these drones gonna fight the Venezuelans, if they're gonna fight the Surinamese, because that's only where the battle is. East and west, right? And you'll see me pointing east because on the TV program, right, the right arm will be pointing west, but it look like even pointing east. And similarly, because remember, the things are flipped around. So $150 million, at least you could have hired a couple more beat police and put them in Lamaha Gardens, put some in Stabrook areas, and reduce crime. We ain't got nothing to fear from Venezuela, neither Suriname. We got more to fear from the people of the oil companies. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. You're on the air. Go ahead. Going once, going twice, you're gone. Right? Okay. So when you call, be ready to talk. Right. So we've had CARICOM, we've had this crime issue, and we've had the illegality of David Granger. And we've dealt a bit personally with the issue of the AFC and Ramjatan fooling himself that he has gotten a great victory within the coalition when in fact he is being made the laughing stock of the country, right? So let the calls keep coming. We have two of them on the cell phones. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good night, Mr. Nadir.
You're on. Good evening.
What is the Trump is saying that crime drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this afternoon about 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter get robbed in Pleasance. Pull out the motorbike map, pull out the bag out his shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The man got a haversack on the back,
Mm-hmm.
and he got on a helmet, still see the face. Right? So I know how crime drop. I know dog is drop, and common is drop, right? And pig is drop.
Mm-hmm.
So everything dropping plenty now. Human being are dropping plenty crime.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, not really going on to type of crime drop.
It's sad, man. That's sad.
Everything with regard to ID card. Right, should this, should that.
But let me tell you, she's not
Everything
going
gone.
to get an ID card so easy. So let her take her birth certificate and apply for a passport if she doesn't have a passport, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because that's going to be the only form of ID she'll have until after the elections, right?
Right, so that clip that you showed here,
Uh-huh.
not only what the place name you showed,
Lamaha Gardens.
Lamar Gardens.
Right.
All in Pleasance, all in Bed, hope this thing happen.
Good man.
Actually, the whole East Coast.
And it's all over
Bicycle gang and the motorbike gang.
Right. You know.
And nobody doing nothing, can't see no patrol, nobody doing nothing in this place.
Yeah, $150 million in drones, $3.5 million US in equipment from the Chinese. A lot of it gone to the Ghana Defense Force just to shuttle around election supporters for the People's National Congress. Thanks a lot for coming through.
All right,
Good. So, yes, we have quite a few calls we're missing. Somehow persons have gotten onto the second number I have been using. But that's one I've dedicated to social media. So that's why the 681 is back up. So let's go here again. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Nadir. These guys really should take an example from our Americans standing up now for the Constitution. It's a great example to our life and what we are going through this partial situation.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing a complete denial of our sacred Constitution by people who assess themselves as being educational
Or educated.
educated and so on.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so caller saying to David Arthur Granger, one of the best educated sons of this soil, Queen's College graduate, a valedictorian. Valedictorian is the top graduate of your class at the University of Guyana. So the year when David Arthur Granger graduated, he was the top performer in the country. He's not a stupid man. However, you know, there's an old saying about ignorance and arrogance residing in the head of an educated whole, right? So, let's go back again. Hi, good evening. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good evening.
Can I ask you a question if you mind?
If I have the answer, I will answer. If I don't have the answer, I'll tell you plain and straight I don't.
Talk to you anytime after tonight on your private phone or program.
You can talk to me anytime you want.
But I can call you privately
Yes.
on the phone number here on the phone.
Yes, you
On
can.
the screen, sorry about that.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all I want to know.
Okay, you can. Thanks. Okay, great. Yeah, the 6819312 number. I tend not to answer the phone between, let's say, 6:45 and 7:30. I'm busy trying to get out of the house. I don't answer the phone between 5 and 7 o'clock because I play table tennis. And on Fridays in the evenings, on Saturdays, I tend to be with grandsons, right? Hi. Sorry, I cut off two one time. Hi. So, but outside of that, text me anytime though. Text me anytime. I'll respond to the text and I'll talk to you whenever I'm available, right? Because we have so much to share with each other. So much ideas. David Arthur Granger said, I am a wise and prudent leader when he was preparing for the onslaught on the AFC. He says, I am a wise and prudent leader. I want to tell you, it's my experience that it takes a combination of good hearts and minds and heads to be a wise and prudent leader. Good? Okay, so let's get cracking again. We've had a few calls. I'm getting my computer is saying 11:18 now, and so we'll have 12 minutes. The wall on the clock says I have 7 minutes, and my telephone says it's 11:27. So somebody needs to tell me what actually is the correct time. If I go by my telephone, I have 2 minutes remaining. If I go by my computer, I have 11, right? And if I go by the clock on the wall, I should have been finished 3 minutes ago. Good. Kevin, what's the right time? 2 minutes? Oh, shucks. Kevin says it's 2 minutes to go. Let us beg Kevin for an extra 5 minutes. He says yes. Thank you, Kevin. So we can take a few calls in the next 5 minutes. Go ahead. Let's hear what we have to do. And we have another good friend texting here. Drones, are we as Guyanese another third world country equipped with the knowledge to understand to operate them? Yes. Drones are not that hard to operate. We are equipped, Michael, and we can handle them, but drones won't help us now. We need foot soldiers. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Do we believe that the promises that the to-be president gave him, do we believe could fulfill them? To me, that's so impossible. Thank you.
Okay. So the PPP president is making some promises that are cannot be fulfilled. That's one view, first negative view in terms of the PPP tonight. So you're entitled to that view too. Good. So drones, yes, we're talking about drones. Drones could be expensive. Somebody said $100 million too expensive. They could be expensive because one of the big issue with drones is the battery life, powering them, and that's where still we haven't been able to significantly decrease the cost because battery life is an important thing. Let's take this other messenger here. Good evening, Mr. Nadir. Concerning the crime, I was today had the opportunity of what it was like to be a target of a regular phone snatcher. He approached, but I was able to avoid his attempt after I observed him long before. Now the place they should show some concern about this activity is the bus park at Munishwar's corner. Yes. So when I say Stabrook Park now seems to have also migrated to the Munishwar's corner, and we have the East Coast and so Park. Hi, good evening. You're on the air. Thanks for sharing that. Hi.
Hey, good night.
Go ahead.
Would any of the drones be used to monitor how much oil could be being extracted? To be used, one of the drones to be at the oil rigs them to extract.
You won't have enough flying time on them to get to the oil from here, but I'm confident if we employ some satellite technology and we should be able to do some amount of monitoring, because the large cruise carrier that has to come to transport this oil. Remember, the first vessel will store about 2 million barrels, which is about 10 days, 12 days production, right? So they have to move that off. So it has to be a ship. And it's very easy to get from satellite imagery, it's very easy to get the name of the ship, the registration of the ship, and to find out the capacity of the ship. So you know that once the ship moves off from the floating storage and production platform, it has to have at least this. So they can tell me whatever you want with a gauge.
Yeah, but here now, who's verifying the holding capacity of those ships?
Yeah, but
GNBS?
no, but I'll tell you something. This is easy technology, right? Because remember the principle of displacement of water, right? Once you put oil in, it will sink. So I'll tell you, you can go right now, there are programs and track every single freight liner, right?
Yeah.
In any ocean, anywhere in the world. And it's very easy to zoom in to see everything there half of a feet.
Yeah, but remember the size of the ship also can determine.
Chief, that all the register, you can do all that, right?
Yeah. But
You can monitor it.
Is there any authentic way in which other people than the oil people could verify the holding capacity of those ships and how much oil is going to be extracted?
Well, here,
I'm getting into the nitty-gritty of every ounce, because these ExxonMobil people, they're very meticulous with their money and their thing. So
Here.
you got to get very meticulous with power.
and you're right. And while I will close off with you is because meticulousness is going to be key. And what is happening, I don't want to say Exxon alone, but all the oil companies seems to have a clause in there which says you have to give them notice before you come on the platform.
No, we want to know these shipping, these oil, these anchors holding. We want to know how we could verify the holding capacity of these anchors. We need to know.
I think you could do it. And if we can't do it, we have to hire people and station them at the ports where they gotta land, you know? And there's so much ways. You know, the Americans, the British, the Canadians, and the European Unions, they have us signing on to all this money laundering thing.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And they got places in Miami that every single bank account, they got screens, monitors, every bank account, they can scan all the transactions. And they have programs that will highlight unusual transactions in every account.
So why they don't do that? Employ those other mechanisms in the oil sector. Mr. Trump, he got rid of the Disclosure Act and all these things. So you see, these international organizations.
Well, here, joke now.
The money, but they monitor people's interest when they know they're the offenders.
Well, here, joke. That's why Imran Khan, when he left the UN after the General Assembly in September, went back to Pakistan, he got such a rousing ovation. He said, watch, all of them talking all these fancy things, but when they're in collusion with we people for thiefy money, you don't hear nothing about it. It's legal. Here, I got cut off, man. Thanks for calling and making this a real great night. Diverse. So let's say thanks again. I can't take another call. I'm impinging on other people's time. I don't want to be that undemocratic. But it's been a great program, quite a few topics, and once again, thank you for all your contributions. On behalf of Kevin, the directors of MTV, and on my own behalf, again, thanks, and you have a great rest of the evening. See you next Friday.